What's up, everybody? This is Super Mike 2164. Hoping you're having a good day. We got a couple of stories to talk about. It's going to be real quick this morning. Hey, let's make a little positive vibe, everybody. Because guess what? We got a negative story and we got some real important thoughts to think about. We're going to be getting some lessons from a master teacher today. And you know that master teacher is the teacher of master teachers, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Because we need to understand how to deal with our women from a real man. A real man. We need lessons from men on how to deal with women. That's what we need as men. Hey, Koja, what's going on, everybody? Go ahead and press the thumbs up, share it. We're going to get right to this. As y'all look at this, everybody's seen it by now. Most people have. If you guys haven't seen this, this is something that a lot of black people need to understand. Other groups of people are concerned when you start to get your stuff together. Let them play it again. Look at the brother. He's showing that he understands the value of defending himself, staying prepared, being no nonsense. Look at the look on your natural enemy's face. They are concerned because they want to stay in a dominant position. And when you start showing signs that you are, understanding how to defend yourself, how to move in the world, how to actually compete, your enemy gets concerned. And they're going to do things to you. They're going to do things to trip you up, to confuse you. They're going to mess with your women. Now, the easiest way to just completely dismantle anybody's progress is to get them fighting against their own women. You cannot do anything if the two halves of your society must trust each other. And right now in black society, black folks, we have had decades now where we don't trust each other. We're arguing with each other. We, want to divest from each other. We want to abort our own babies. All these negative stuff we want to do to hurt each other because we've been hurt. It's just hurt people hurting people. Okay. And you know what? Some of it's justified. Black people kill each other. Black people cheat on each other. We do all kind of crap, right? So there's so many justifications, somebody like Kevin Samuels or Cynthia G can put up to try to justify why they say the real weird stuff that they say. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, if you want to survive, if you want to live, you're going to have to try to work this stuff out. So what we want to do today, I want to go through this first story first, just to show us that there's thoughts out here to try to mess up your internet or your connections with each other, because today you got connections with each other that you didn't have before. And the pace of learning has been accelerated because of that. So in this story in the Atlantic, I thought was interesting. People aren't meant to talk this much. Breaking up social media companies is one way to fix them. Shutting up their users is a better one. and this is serious. They want to shut up humanity. That's a thought, really? One person gets so they can be dictators again, so they can hoard all the information, so they can manipulate and confuse people much more easily. See, what is the objective to this type of thinking? They want to break up the social medias. That's one way. But guess what? What's the better way for them, for their purposes? Shut up their users. And so I just wanted to bring that to y'all attention. And I mean, of course, I'm not going to read the whole entire story, but the first part is just setting you up to believe his crap, which, they come up with this stupid number called the Dunbar number, 150 people. They're saying this 150 people is all you can have good relationships with. How they know? How they know everybody? Okay. Anyway, basically they saying you can only have good relationships with 150 people at the most. Most people can only deal with 5 to 15 people, closest friends. Okay. They say they maintain much larger networks, but only by compromising the quality or sincerity of those connections. First of all, that's just stupid thinking. And just because people went to school and got a degree, they actually feel that all of their thoughts are legitimate. Just because you went to school and got you a piece of paper that says you graduated and you have some kind of master's degree or whatever, that only means that you're trained in a Western thought of thinking, okay? And you've shown proficiency in that. So a lot is wrong with the internet, but much of it boils down to this one problem. This is their problem, okay? We are all constantly talking to one another, period. That's their problem. This is a problem for them. Okay, so let's keep going. Take that in every sense. So to them, we're constantly talking to one another. Communication, networking, and before online tools, we talk less frequently. Now they're trying to bring you down to your personal contacts again. But okay, so now let's look into other problem here. Online media gives every person access to channels of communication previously reserved for big business. So the thing is, everybody has the kind of communication that previously big business executives, power networkers had. The thing is, you have the ability to create a network and create wealth, and people are finding out how to do this on their own. Random folks, this is an unintended consequence that they had. The genie's out of the box. They're trying to figure out a way to put it back in the box without anyone reopening that box. So, previously reserved for big business, starting with the World Wide Web in 1990s and continuing into user-generated content. See, user-generated content for the aughts and social media of the 2010s. Control over public discourse has moved from media organizations, okay? See, control over public discourse. Control, guys. I mean, come on, y'all. Let's think. This is, like I said, you see them. They see you. You're dealing with that gun. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. You got that gun. Previously, who had that gun? Who had that gun before? Who had that gun? Who used to have that gun? But now there's a concern. Somebody else got that gun. So, online media gives every person access to the channels of communication previously reserved for big business starting with the World Wide Web in the 1990s and continuing into user-generated content for the alts and social media of the 2010s. Control over public discourse has moved from media organizations, governments, and corporations to average citizens. Hey, you little average citizens. You have user-generated content. Finally, people could publish writings, images, videos, and other materials without first getting the endorsement of gatekeepers, publishers, or broadcasters. Ideas spread freely beyond borders, and we also received a toxic dump of garbage. Okay, well, we were receiving garbage prior to that. Now they want to try to pathologize this. So they're going to tell you all the bad things, right? You know, they're going to say conspiracy theories are bad. No, conspiracy theories are just logical people, thinking. That's what it is. Of course, you don't have all the information and all the knowledge of some of this stuff that you're talking about, but you get to do what's called theorizing. That's what humans do. That's what scientists do. They theorize. Okay. And this is something that, they don't want to allow. They don't want to allow that for normal humans, normal people. They want to keep those gates. They want to keep those gates closed so that, so that they can continue to operate the way that they want to operate. And so the thing is here, I just want y'all to notice that thought is definitely in the works. These people, they want to control the knowledge that you have. They want to control the information that you have, because if you control the sphere of someone's knowledge, if you control what that Minister Farrakhan said, if you control the diameter of a person's information, you're going to control the circumference of their activity, because you cannot think a thought that you have not received information about. There's a lot of questions and a lot of thoughts that you don't even question because you don't even know to question it. So now let's move to this story. This is the disgusting divestment story. And I want to get into this divestment concept here. So let's listen to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I want to look into this. Is just a little, just basic knowledge. But let's listen here.
Primarily, you mentioned the black man in America should find some place where he could set up his own nation. I was thinking of a large area where all of us could go to be in the Nation of Islam.
You'll find that on the last page of Muhammad Speak newspaper, where that we have learned that we cannot get along with the white man in peace, and the white man have the privilege to separate us. But instead, the more we want to be separated from him, the more he wants to gobble us up. And you excuse the word gobble, but the more he wants to swallow us up in his power. He don't want the black man out of his sight. He's afraid of you going to yourself. But this is the only way he could exist.
I was speaking primarily.
Now let's listen to it. Let's break it down a little bit. So the man, the messenger is telling us we got to have a place that we control to ourselves, that we can grow our power. We don't want to be integrating all of our power into a system where these people, they get to control they get to have the last word. And right now he has the privilege of separating.
To separate us.
He had the privilege
to separate us.
Privilege.
And the white man have the privilege to separate.
Now, regardless of what you thought about this man here, this man is not stupid. This man right here, he's real precise with his words, especially in interviews that last over time. He thought about that word and he used the word privilege. So this means that if they don't separate us, they have the privilege to separate us, because if they separate us, they survive and we survive. But if they don't, what ends up happening is they lose their entire, what they have. They don't even survive, because we're going to survive. But we're seeing that right now. But our problem is some of us want to integrate into a situation with a group of people who are gone. These folks, the stuff that they was able to do in the past, that's what they got used to surviving off of. They can't do that anymore. So these people don't want to see us. That's why they get so jealous anytime we get a little something.
He does. But instead, the more we want to be separated from him, the more he wants to gobble us up. And you excuse the word gobble, but the more he wants to swallow.
You see how precise he is with the word? He changed the word gobble so that people won't get confused over time, and he clarified what he's talking about. So I just wanted y'all to see that part. Before we get into this story, I just want to talk about this divest Twitter concept here. Hold on, divestment. All right, so you got divestments. Folks believe in, and this is on the men and women's side. You know, people think that, like this story here. This is a good picture. If you conquered men are the weakest links, I'm going to divest and get a zaddy. Now, you can flip this over here, because these black men are going for these white women too. Okay. But why won't black men protect me? Okay. And we can create a meme that goes the opposite way. But this group of folks, this is not something that we need to be following. We can learn from them, but we can't follow their ways and try to integrate our genetics with them. These folks have problems that we don't need to be dealing with. They got problems they got to figure out amongst themselves. So now you want to integrate with them. You want to blonde your hair. You want to go with Zaddy. Okay, Zaddy done trapped you up. So let's look at, I want to read one other thing before I go into the story real quick, what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us. He told us about the women, our women. The woman is the man's field to produce his nation. If he does not keep the enemy out of his field, he won't produce a good nation. If we love our vegetable crops, now he made the analogy with the field and the crop. If we love our vegetable crops, we will go out and turn up the leaves on that vegetable stalk and look carefully for worms that are eating and destroying the vegetables. We will kill that worm, right? Again, we will go out into the cotton field and look for the enemies of our cotton and try to kill that enemy, right? We study poisons and chemicals of the earth, and we pour these chemicals on the enemies of our crops to keep the enemies from destroying them. We love a crop that we can produce every year, every season, so well that we kill every enemy that we find seeking to destroy it. So if you are trying to create a nation of people who loves themselves, and if you don't want to integrate with the enemy of your nation, because when you let your women or you have your men mixing with the enemy, especially your woman, because the men impregnates the woman, creates babies, and then he's there, and the woman wants to teach the babies that which she thought made her successful. She's going to teach them to love their father if she loves them. And what ends up happening is with white folks, they end up having this love-hate relationship with black people. So they want to have sex with you, but they hate you. They want to listen to your music, but they hate you. And so we can't have that. We want to have pure black love. That's what we want. So in order to do that, you got to protect your women. You got to elevate your woman. You got to make sure right now, you got to make sure they trust you. Because if you remember the Willie Lynch thing, no matter what, if you believe Willie Lynch was actually real or not, the point is, the principle of it is they made sure the women trusted them and abandoned the men. Okay. And that is the objective. You have to, if you understand that, you got to make sure that your own women trust you and respect you more than they respect your enemy. And this is what your enemy is doing with this divest movement. That's why when that white guy went over there to talk to Cynthia G, if you listen to that interview, look at how he was speaking. Look at how he was speaking to her, because he knew what his objective was. His objective was to make sure those women were reinforced in rejecting their own men and seeking to get protection out of the white man. Okay, and this is something that is not really sustainable, because no other group of men can protect you as strongly as your own group of men. There's impossible that another group of men can protect a group of women as good potentially as their own men. The bottom line, the answer is, we're going to have to just work on ourselves. This is just the bottom line. We're going to have to deal with our problems, figure them out. When it comes to the bottom line of all this stuff, we're going to have to figure this stuff out. So, of course, this white man, because he hates black men, he's getting with this woman. She has 4 black boys. He breaks the 8-year-old's jaw, kills the baby. Okay. So the surviving brothers, aged 7, 10, and 15, were only rescued from deplorable home after the 15-year-old reportedly texted his mom to say he couldn't take it anymore. Then he called 911. So keep in mind, this woman had convinced, because the woman is what you're listening to, your mother, you love her. So she's influencing the children. This is the reason why you don't want other enemy men influencing your women, because they're going to influence your children. Your children are going to come out with all these weird behaviors and ideas and stuff because mama is crazy. So the bottom line is, this is what happened. So the kid, the oldest son, the 15-year-old, he got a sane thought. He said, "Mama crazy." He said, "Mama, I can't take it anymore." He called the police. Investigators, the boy was dead. The 8-year-old boy was dead in the bed for about a year. She running around here with this cave guy, this barbarian. Okay. You see, and she's still playing around with him with her dead kid at the house, and the other kid starving to death. I think the beatings were consistent, mainly involving the younger children. Harris County, Dennis Wolf said after Kendrick died, the couple stuck around in the Houston apartment for a while, Wilford said, but ditched the boys in bare roach-infested space for no other reason than their own convenience. Common sense would tell you that they were distancing themselves from a dead child. Wolford said by the time they moved out, you're talking about probably 5 to 6 months after the boy was dead. They know the entire time that there's a dead boy in this apartment. This is how crazy this is. There's no sane group of people do stuff like this. Okay, where's the black man? Where was he at? Exactly. See, this is our fault, brothers. And when the women blame the black men in general, we're gonna have to just deal with it and keep it moving. We can't argue about it. We was told our job is to try to separate here. Now, at the same time, a knowledgeable woman will stay away from Neanderthal. She's gonna stay away from Neanderthal. Okay, but and she gonna just figure out the problems with her own men or stay single or something. But you don't get with Neanderthal. You don't get with a group of people whose whole entire history and lineage is built on enslaving, destroying, and murdering of your own folks. You can't do it. Don't do it. I wouldn't. But anyway. So I'm not going to read every one of them, but the bottom, family over everything, these weirdo ideologies these people think, and somehow they get convinced that the divestment chick that, you know, this stuff includes them, but they'll kill your sons. They want to have sex with you, but they'll kill they want to kill your father or kill your sons or kill your brother. Anyway, check that story out, guys. I'm not going to sit up here blathering about it. I just wanted to bring those to our attention. You know, I hope that we all get it. I hope we get it. I hope we get better. What's up, Koja? Yep. And the thing is, black men's actions and words. But guess what, though? Guess what? It's our problems to solve at the bottom line. And that's the issue. Yep, we got all this mistrust. We got all this anger, hatred. But this is all mistrust and anger and hatred for each other and ourselves. Okay? And of course, some people are going to start trying to do different things based on, you know, what they feel they can get for themselves. But, you know, it's not going to be a real solution. The solution is we got to try to figure it out. We got to go ahead and do what's right. That's it. So anyway, y'all. All right. Peace.